Good morning and welcome back to the Adventures of Mac and Anthea. In today's video we're going to be examining two gadgets to try and solve the problem of loosening head bolts on the modern steering system on a bicycle. The first one is this, I'll go into that a bit more later, and the second one is this. So up until about 4 years ago I'd had a 30-year break from cycling. I've still been doing a lot of motorcycling and everything, but yeah, I hadn't been doing much on bicycles. So anyway, it was quite a shock, the return of bicycles and having a look at them, and there've been quite a lot of evolution over the years, you know, and a lot of improvements and a lot of good, you know, steps made forwards in the production of bicycles. Unfortunately, after examining the steering stem system, that was not one of them. Anybody who follows my channel and watches it knows I've got a pretty low opinion of the modern system they use on bicycles. I believe the design is very poor and it's poorly engineered. And I've got to admit, you know, when I first had one apart, I was at pains to sort of realise how it actually worked and how it functioned, how it tensioned, you know, the bearings. It wasn't after I looked at it more closer that I realised, well, it relies on these crappy little spacers and three, you know, sort of puny little bolts in the head bracket, you know, in the handlebar bracket to actually keep the tension on. Well, you know, a little bit of thought of that, thought, nah, that's not going to work. And of course, no, it doesn't. And as I recall before, when I used to do a lot of cycling, we used to have the threaded, you know, steering stem. I never recall a single occasion all through my childhood or when I was a young adult, you know, when I was actually riding these bicycles, ever having to touch the steering bearings on a bicycle. Now, I look on YouTube and the sheer volume of videos alone makes it obvious to me it's a serious problem. There are literally probably thousands of videos on how to retension steering bearings on a modern bicycle. Okay, so let's have a look at the bicycle and we'll try and identify what the problem is. So this is my new e-mountain bike. I've designed and built this bicycle to go on the more demanding trails, what I refer to as the Widowmaker trails, and I've designed it to do that, and we're actually in the process now of actually testing it and you know, sort of trying to get rid of any bugs that are in it. Now I'm about 8 kilometers into testing this, and I've already got a lot of play in the head bearings here and already got a problem. So I anticipated a problem. I've actually did some research beforehand, you know, on how we were going to, you know, overcome this should it occur. So I already had it, you know, sort of in mind, these two products that I'm going to show you today as a solution to the, you know, to this problem. But I thought it might have lasted a bit longer than sort of 8 kilometers. Safe to say I did use it on some pretty demanding trails. Okay, so I've just momentarily loosened off the display, moved it out of the way. But here, if you're not familiar with it, I'm sure most of you are. Inside this the steering stem, you remove this cap. There's actually what they call a star nut, and all it is sort of a nut with some wings that stick out the sides, if you like, and you tap it down into the steering stem, and it gouges into the inside of the steering stem, and that's what is meant to be the engineering behind it, to actually adjust the tension on the bearings. Now, to my mind, that's just poor engineering for something that, you know, goes under so much stress when riding. Now, I hear you guys saying out there, well, actually, you know, that only adjusts it, you know, and it doesn't actually lock off the bearings into place after you adjusted. This bit's solely for adjusting. And, you know, and actually this head bracket here, the handlebar bracket, is what keeps the tension on the bearings. But of course, then, you know, we've got a whole new set of problems here. You know, you're relying on these two little bolts here basically to clamp the smooth inside of this steering bracket onto the smooth outside of the steering stem. Now, for all the fancy prancy you know, sort of steering torque wrenches I've seen, it doesn't matter what you do, you are never going to get enough tension on these puny little bolts for this to clamp tight enough to stop it from gradually working up and dragging the little star nut up the inside of the tube there and then slacking off your bearings, as has been proved with me in 8 kilometers. So yeah, a rubbish system. So ideally I would make a solution to this myself. You know, I would get the lathe, get a piece of sort of solid aluminium bar, which is sort of a little, you know, sort of this thickness, this width, and reduce it down through most of the length to about here, to the inside of the actual steering stem, going up the complete length, then drill a fat hole down the middle and thread it, you know, so you could get a lot bigger bolt in from the top to tighten it all up. That would be the ideal solution. And I've explained to the missus on several occasions, you know, how much we need a mini lathe. But it turns out I'm completely wrong, and under no circumstances do I need a mini lathe. So afraid that option's out the window, and we're going to have to resort to sort of off-the-shelf solutions which we could purchase over the internet. This is the first one. It's quite hard to get hold of. I know it's fairly easy to get hold of this sort of thing in the US, but I certainly struggled in Europe. I got this from Andorra. If you're not from Europe, you're not familiar with the geography, Andorra's a principality in the Pyrenees Mountains between Spain and France. If you think sort of Monaco's poor brother who lives in the mountains, you get the idea. This came from there. Took longer to come from there than it actually come for the other components come from China, so it says it all really, doesn't it? But it isn't a bad component. It looks a bit flimsy. I mean, the bolt here, is considerably fatter, and you can adjust it. If you unscrew it here, this bit slides out, and you can sort of put this in any of these holes for the, depending how much steering stem you've got, and then you hold that in and screw then this bolt in through the top. If I can get it to go right, hang on. Yeah, and this bolt goes through the top. I can see it's having fun with this. Yeah, that goes through the top like that, and then puts the tension on all the way through from bottom to top. Not a bad idea. It seems a bit flimsy, but maybe once it's on, I mean, this looks a good thickness, the aluminium here, and once it's on and tightened up, probably it will hold. I have my doubts because this screws into this thing, vibration, whether eventually it's going to work its way loose. I don't know, but hey, we'll see how easy it is to fit, and we'll give it a go. So, second solution we're going to give a go is this. This more or less, I suppose, doesn't go all the way through the steering stem, but it replaces the star nut. And what it does is it works, if you're familiar with rule bolts, you've ever bolted anything into concrete, it sort of works on that principle. It's got these sort of three segments around here. They've got springs around them that hold them in place. But this little bit where the threads go through is coned. And as you tighten through the top there, this Allen bolt through the top, it drags it up here and expands these segments here out onto the inside of the steering stem. Now, unlike a rule bolt, not only does it expand from the bottom here, but the top is also coned as well. So the cones push along there, you can see it a bit better there, and it expands it from both ends. So yeah, that's definitely going to be a solution, and they do these in various sizes. This one cost me about €3.50, which I think is brilliant. They do this in various different sizes. I got the longest one I could find, which was 80mm. My mindset being that the more contact I've got with the inside of the steering tube is the last chance there is of it pulling and slipping out. So I went for the bigger one, 80cm, but they do various sizes. So we're going to give that one a go as well, I think. The only thing is what I do like about it is you've got this little bit along the top here, that if you've cut the steering stem, that's going to slot in up to that, and that's going to finish it off quite nicely. That's quite neat. The trouble is I was quite accurate about how I cut my steering stem, so that I had plenty of room to pull it up, and I think by the time I put this inside, it's going to protrude too far out the top, and I'm going to have to trim probably a few millimetres off the steering stem again. But we'll have to wait and see. So first job is to get this cap off the top here, access the actual star nut and see if we can get that out. Okay, that's out. I've got to say, ideally I would like to see that to be M8 at least. Okay, so there's a better view of it, and this is your star nut inside here. Even though it creeps up when you're gradually riding it, and you get slacking off on the bearings, or it certainly doesn't help these bolts anyway hold the tension on the bearings, I think we stand a little chance of actually pulling this out for the top. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to figure out some way of tapping it all the way through and sort of out for the bottom here. So I've got the longest 6-spool bolt I've got, the one with the longest thread on it. I'm going to screw that down into there a little bit. And then I'm going to try and tap this at least for a way down the steering stem. I'm going to lift it up off the ground a bit so the shock doesn't go through to the wheel. Okay, so that's down as far as we're going to get it with the bolt, I think. So next I'm going to try this socket set bar in here. I've jammed some paper towel in around it to try and protect it and keep it sort of centred. So I'm going to lift that up and tap that through. We look pretty close to the bottom, we can't be far off now. I'm worried about hitting this display. And finally I've got this long chisel. I've rolled it up a piece of paper just to try and protect the edges a bit here. Let's see if we could just tap it through that last few inches. Okay, so we've finally got that sort of star nut out. I know it's quite extreme, tapping down the centre of a bar, but look at the bearings now. If you look here, I can sort of show you. Great big gap here, and great big gap from the top. So that slid right down just by tapping the bar. I know they're quite sharp shocks and that, but so are bouncing off rocks down mountainsides as well. So really shouldn't be doing that, certainly not to that extreme anyway. So I'm going to try and get this clamp back together so I can get this new fitting in. I think I'm probably going to put a piece of threaded bar through the middle, a couple of big washers, tighten it up just to clamp it back together, because obviously I've no longer got that star not to put the tension back on. And probably, if in reality, if you weren't worried about what it looked like, a couple of nylocks, a couple of big washers and a long length of threaded bar is probably the best solution. Okay, well, that rebar will work well just to compress everything back up again. Then maybe that's the solution. You know, I'll just cut it off the top here, put a couple of nylocks on, nylock on there, nylock on the bottom, and just spray them black, you know, job done. But no, I think we need something just a little bit tidier than that. But that's certainly, it stopped all the jarring in the steering. Okay, so we'll get this rebar off, and we'll check out the sort of the longer one of the two contraptions. Apologies guys, but I somehow managed to lose the footage actually of me fitting this bit. But basically I had two attempts. The first attempt I tried to put it in, and this sort of insert was just moving around all the time and I couldn't line up the bolt into it. Second attempt, I put this little bit of tape in, and that just holds that insert in place with the threads pointing the right way. You know, holds it still long enough for me to actually bolt this down through the bottom. Other than that, it was all pretty self-explanatory and pretty easy once I managed to get that piece of tape on. Okay, so that seems pretty good. It's certainly taking the prey out of the bearings. There's a certain amount of movement in here anyway, which I think is to be expected. You know, it's long forks. It's meant to be a certain amount of flex, but it certainly don't feel this sort of banging around at the bearings here. So yes, it's worked quite well. It doesn't really centre in here. That's the only trouble with this cap. I think maybe you could probably re-drill this cap, or it may even fit through there. And use the old one if you wanted to butcher that, and that'll probably centre that a little bit better. So I think what we'll do is we'll take this off and we'll have a look at the other system and see what that's like. Okay, so here's the next system. We've taken the old one off. This just drops into there, but it's right up against the top of the fork tube, but unfortunately this little rim is protruding above, so it doesn't matter, you know, how good it is. You know, it's not going to tension up. We need this bit to be way below the edge of here, so that when we tighten it up, it pulls and puts tension on. So unfortunately, I'm just going to quickly screw this in to get it out. We're going to have to take the top off and take probably about 5mm off the top of this fork tube. So I've got some masking tape on there just to measure off. We've got 5mm down. I'm not going to mess about the axle this time. I'm just going to get straight on with the disc cutter with a fine blade on it. Let's see if I can take that 5mm off. Okay, so that's pretty neat. You can see there's a slight bit of a line there, but all the masking tape is intact. So I'm just going to gently go over the top of the file and smooth it all off, and then we'll try and fit this new part in. Okay, and that slots nicely into there. Okay, so this has got an Allen bolt in it with actually the narrower, smaller thread of the sort of the top cap going down the middle of it. So we've got a Allen bolt in there, into there, and then we'll tighten her up. Okay, that's really tight. So let's put the handlebars back on and see what we've got. Okay, so I'm going to clean this up with surgical spirits. In case there's any traces of grease on here at all. I'll also do the inside of the handlebar bracket just to give it the maximum chance of, you know, of biting and not slipping. Yeah, there's nothing on that. Clean with that. Let's not forget to put our spacer on. There we go. Well, it's a bit tight to get on these because the length of the brake line. Okay, so that's the handlebars on. Put this original bolt and cap on here, which should screw hopefully into this new unit. There we go. Plenty of bolt going onto that, and let's see what tension we can get. Must say this cap fits a lot better and sits a lot better into here than the other system, which is probably why I'm going to stick with this first one, and the fact that it's already in there now to start with, and test this one first. Okay, that seems to be tensioning nicely. It's pretty good. Okay, so I've got this in, I've started to tighten it up and I've taken it back off again. Even by trimming that bit off, I still haven't got enough off the tube for this to go low enough for me to get the tension on. But I don't think I'm going to cut any more off the fork tube. I think I'm going to look online and see if I can get something, one of these handlebar mounts that, you know, bolt to the top of the stem, something a little bit more substantial, or even better still, you know, with some bigger bolts on there so you can get a bit more tension on it. And try that first before I start cutting any more off the fork tube, because if it's a few millimetres bigger, you know, or higher, I won't need to. So I think I'm going to end that video there. Sun's moving around and it's going to hit mid-40s today, so I need to get inside in front of the air conditioning. But those are the two options I'm thinking. You've got this that runs completely through the centre and clamps the whole thing together completely. The downside with this is it didn't sit particularly nicely into the top of the handlebar mount. But other than that, you know, it seemed to work, and also I suspect, you know, it's quite loose inside the threads here, so maybe it may work its way out as well. Second option is basically the option of the bit that expands a bit like the roll bolt and replaces the actual the star nut, you know, which you just tap into it. I have no doubt in my mind that that's never going to shift. There's no way that is going to walk up the fork tube again once you tighten it, you know, you've tightened it in. That's not going anywhere, unlike the actual star nut. So I'm quite, you know, impressed with that, and also because it's got that finishing edge along the top to finish where you've cut the handlebars. I think that's quite nice as well. You know, it puts a nice finish to what you've just cut, especially if you haven't done a particularly good cut. And so that should be fine, providing, of course, over time that Allen bolt doesn't work its way back up again. I would still like to see a new cap on top with a more substantial Allen bolt on there. Maybe an M8 would be great, you know, and maybe you could put a bit of thread lock in there and screw that down and in. Okay then, so like I say, I think we're going to end that video there. Please check out those other videos. I'll link them into somewhere up here or up here, a playlist of the bike build if you're interested in that sort of thing. So other than that, please hit that like and subscribe button, and I'll see you next time.